All right, let's start gently though with the neck. So just place the feet where you feel secure and upright. We're going to lift the left arm and open it out to the side, and then the right ear down to the right shoulder. And you just be patient here and see if you can just tune into whatever sensations there are, maybe on the side of the neck, maybe down the arm. And there's a small micro movement of the head dialing down towards the floor. The arm reaching the wall behind you and starting to lower down. So just feel how this changes the sensations on the side of the neck and down into the arm. We're not jerking the head up. We'll slowly take the head back to the centre and take it to the other side. Right arm out in front of you, open, and then drop the head. Sometimes when we're doing an exercise movement class, we're so tuned into thinking, don't fully relax into one position because we're going to go on to something else. But see if you can be patient and actually allow that softening down. And then that slow dialing down of the head. Also, as you're beginning to draw an arc with the head. And slowly, gently with the head, always kind with the neck, come up. Place the fingers behind the head, and we'll drop the chin towards the chest. We've all got different ranges of mobility here, so no forcing. This is more about cradling the head than adding weight. But again, we want to just tune into whatever sensations are on the back of the neck, finding heaviness in the shoulders and letting the elbows drop towards the floor. So that slight rounding of the upper back, length down the back of the neck. And just noticing maybe you can get some referred sensations down the spine. Think how interconnected the connective tissue is on that posterior chain. Again, softly lifting the head. And to take the head back for an extension, we'll lift the shoulders and slowly drop the head back. Jaws definitely soft here. You can take the head side to side. If you're okay here, this is going well, clasp the hands behind your back. So roll the shoulders back. Hard to do this on talk. And then lifting the hands away from your bottom. So you're getting that openness across the whole of the front of the neck and the shoulders. And then we'll slowly release the hands, slowly take the head forwards. Shrug it out the shoulders and turn the head. Now specifically onto the shoulders, it's internally rotate, externally rotate. But with a nice solid core. So tailbone pointing down to the floor, that light engagement in the core, and that's round the arms in towards each other. And then think about this movement that we try to mimic when we're taking a down dog, that feeling of turning, rotating outwards, so we open across the chest, inwards, shoulder blades separate, opening across the chest. So of course when we're taking a down dog, it's more hands are fixed and that sense of opening the shoulders without the shoulder blades coming together. It's that strength in the upper back, the shoulders across the chest that give the down dog and the plank its strength without straining the shoulders. We can make this movement a little bit bigger. Now the elbows come into the waist. And then we're round forward. Shoulders come together and forwards. Lead with the elbows up. Shoulders back and down. You can start to drop the head back here. Stretch in front of the body. Here, stretch in the back of the body. So we've got the knees slightly soft now. So that as we take that flexion of the spine, think about the way we move the spine in a cat-cow, we're starting to stretch a little bit further down the spine. Last time. Open. And then with soft knees, take the swing around the waist. Being careful to lift the back heel so that we're not straining the knee. Arms are nice and heavy here. All right. With the legs wide, we're taking a wide leg fold. Webbing of the fingers around the crease of the top of the leg. Leg straight, come into a fold. No overdoing the stretch of the back of the leg. We can always add a little micro bend in the knees to avoid that hyperextension. We'll pause here, slide the hands down to the knees, bend the knees, and come up into this kind of more goddess position. Take a twist by pressing into the opposite thigh and twisting. Feel that lovely stretch down the back. We're also hopefully getting a little bit of an inner thigh stretch, and the other side. We're gearing up to a whole flow. So I hope you're feeling strong. This is instead of our sun salutations. So briefly take the legs together, kick back, and then we reset with the legs wide, toes slightly turned out, arms parallel to the floor, shoulders back and down, some tone in the core. And we're just taking the upper body side to side. So it's not a side bend. See if you can glide as if you're gliding the ribs side to side. So just think about loosening up the waist. This is with triangle later. Let's stay all the way over to the left. Flip the right palm up, and for a count of 5, we're coming into a side bend. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it, control. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, just waking up the waist here, freeing up. If you found any sensations in the back of your body which didn't feel quite right, you can retuck the tailbone and find some more extra pulling in the core. The next time we come over to the right, we'll pause, flip the left palm up, and we take the arm up and over that lateral flexion of the spine. 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to find that gliding strength and control. Squeeze the glutes, feet into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. We're coming side to side again. We're adding on. We'll be taking from our side bend, we'll be taking the flat back and reaching for the side wall. All right. So hands stretched. We're coming over to the left. Flip the right palm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower hand on the hip. Dial your upper body down. Reach for the side wall and stretch from the hip into the fingertips. Pause. Reopen from that twist. And we reset for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. So let's just get that reset and then settle over to the right. Flip the left palm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower hand on the hip. Dial down the nose to the floor. Try to get the arm in line with the hip and then reach for that side wall. Reopen and reset for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're adding on. From a flat back, we'll come to the opposite ankle. Remember to take a stretch and step the feet together if you need to. Off we go. Over to the left, flip the right palm, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the lower hip, dial down, reach for the side wall. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and fold over that left leg. Pause for a couple of counts. Back to we're rewinding, so let's reach for the side wall, flattening the back. Open from your twist, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. You're nearly done. Other side. Reach for the side wall, flip the left palm, reach up and over, squeezing the glutes. Think about your back of your head, back of the pelvis in that same vertical plane. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, hand on the hip, dial down, reach for the side wall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down to that opposite ankle. Pause. Come back to that stretch to the side wall. This is all great preparation for your triangle. Open from that twist, and we'll open up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Step the legs together, kick back and shrug out the shoulders. Okay, we're going to take a triangle, reverse triangle, extended side angle, peaceful warrior. So the first time around, we're going to hold each position just so that we make sure we've got all our checkpoints ticked. So initially, let's turn the left toes to the left. Lift up your right heel and dial it to the wall behind so that it just dials this hip down. Arms parallel to the floor, and as we've just done, we reach the upper body to the side wall. Now, flip the palms to face forwards and start to hinge from the hips. Now, this lower hand, the left hand on the shin, press the shin into the hand. so that we don't damage the knee. So if anything, a little bend in the knee, but otherwise trying to keep both legs straight. The extended arm. If you cannot not see any of your armpits, better to hold the shoulder and encourage that external rotation and that opening across the chest. Breathing deeply and just feeling length in the spine as we breathe in. Very easy to just hang on the fascia here. See if you can activate the feet, grip the floor with the feet so you're firing up those leg muscles. Now we'll keep the legs in the same place for our reverse triangle. So see if you can slowly come out, no jerking. So it's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, left arm up, and we glide down the back leg. Think about two-way stretch. Think about keeping this back hip down forwards a little bit. We're long from one arm into the other. And feeling that lovely stretch down around the crest of this left hip. Shoulders backing down. Again, just have to maybe check if you can see any of your armpit. This rounding forwards is what we want to avoid. So external rotation and reach. Bottom slightly tucked. Very easy to get that kind of sway back curve in the spine, which we'd like to avoid. Next, extended side angle. So we bend that left knee, using the corresponding arm to point the knee to the side wall. Re-extend across the chest and lift your arm over the ear. Reaching fingertips down to the little toe. Pause, stretch, lengthen. Inner thigh stretch. Try to avoid dumping all of your weight onto the thigh. And the last in the sequence is that peaceful warrior. Legs stay the same, hand behind the head, and we're reaching the elbow up to the ceiling and gliding down the back leg. So here you want to keep the knee opening and pointing to the side wall. We're reaching the elbow towards the ceiling so we get that stretch down the side of the body right to the elbow. Elbow back, head back into the hand. And then let's release out. Same to the other side before we take it into a flow. So when you've rested the legs, take the legs wide again. This time, right toes point to the right wall, the knee and the toes there. Lift this left heel and then adjust it a little bit further away from you to dial the hip down. Arms parallel to the floor. Reach the upper body to the side wall. Another way of doing this is placing the webbing into that crease at the top of the leg and helping to take the hips back in space so the fingers well planted in the hip joint. And when we're ready, we can slide the hand down to the shin. Nice to start off with pressing the shin into the hand so that we're strong. You'll feel almost instantaneously as you press the shin into the hand that the calf muscle will engage. So that's great. If you feel ready, we can lift the arm, but then let's be fussy about if on this side, the shoulder's a little bit internally rotated, we're dropping the head forwards, use the hand to guide the shoulder into that more externally rotated position. Enjoy the stretch. You know, we're not holding it for too long, so grip the floor with the feet. Back of the head, in line with the back of the pelvis, maybe we extend. Breathing deeply. Drop the head to the floor if this is a strain for the neck. And pause. Reverse triangle. Slowly. So engage the core and see if we can stretch to the side walls, but then keep going. Windmill the arms. Hand on the back leg. Legs still straight. And we're reaching overhead. Still grip the floor with the feet. If you can, look up at the ceiling on the inside of the armpit. Pause. We can think ahead to the extended side angle. Your top arm can complete a circle. We bend that right knee. Forearm to further open the hip. Left arm up and over the ear. So a few checkpoints here. If we grip the floor and almost try to gather the energy together and under us, we'll get stronger legs. Forearm adding to that inner thigh stretch, hip opening, and feel a sense of a straight line from the fingertips overhead down to the little toe. It's like tucking the tailbone, Enjoy the stretch of it. Last of all, peaceful warrior. Let's drop the top arm, hold the head, and then gliding down. We'll go really slowly into it. We won't go too far. So we want to keep your front knee pointing forwards, long through the spine. Every time you breathe in, try to elongate. Breathing deeply, reaching the elbow towards the ceiling, head pressing back into the hand. No jerking to come out. We can slowly drop the arm and come up. Ooh. Kick back and have a little sway, a strong in the muscles of the lower back, the legs. We're going to try and flow it now. Legs wide. Let's again have the left toes to the left wall. Lift up the right heel and send it away from you. So the feet are going to stay where they are. The only thing that will change is the left knee will bend to it's over the ankle. All right, triangle first. So we'll glide to the side, reaching to the floor, reaching overhead. Anchor down through the feet, pulling the core back to your reverse triangle. We bend that left knee, extended side angle. We keep the knee bent. We go to peaceful warrior. Hold the head and take the elbow to the ceiling. Let's try again. Straighten the leg, triangle, reverse triangle. So we're going for roughly 5 counts to transition to each, so that there's not an end point. We're just more thinking about that careful transition. Extended side angle into your peaceful warrior. We're going to do twice more through on this side before we take it to the other side. So if you feel you want to go slower or maybe a little bit faster, you want to feel like you own every bit of the movement. You could freeze frame at any point. So as long as you feel strong at every point, you can go faster, but slow control. When we start to eliminate any jerking, it's all great. So if you're with me, I'm going to go for my last round here of triangle. Try to grip the floor. You know, it's really easy to lose that connection through the body, but really if we are mindful, stretching into the fingertips, shoulders are back and down, the neck is long, we're probably using like 5 times the number of calories. So energy-wise, not an efficient way to move, but very strong, great toning. And great for that injury prevention if we train the body to glide in this engaged way through positions, we're far less likely to injure ourselves. Oh, we've got the other side to go. But never nearly time to go down to the mat. Last side. Right toes to the right wall. Lift up this back heel and dial down. Reach to the side wall. Let's come straight into or triangle. If you're feeling any sensations in the back, then you do give it a little bend. Okay, triangle. Armpit shining forwards or hold the shoulder. And come into a reverse triangle. Long through the spine, shoulders down, back of the head and on the back of the pelvis. Very easy as we become more familiar with the positions, to lose that detail. We want to keep our focus on all of the checkpoints until this all becomes second nature and the brain automatically engages, recruits far more muscles than it might feel we need. So triangle, you want to protect your knee, you want to work on externally rotating the top shoulder. And then moving this frontal plane into your reverse triangle. Again, the legs are straight into the extended side angle. Into the peaceful warrior. Let's have one more round. And then you can have a swing around the waist, let the arms go. And then we're down to the mat. The last round. See if you can feel strength through from one set of fingertips to the other. Shoulders nicely back and down. And see if you're breathing throughout. See if you can make sure that the breathing stays continuous with the movement. We're not holding the breath at any point. Amazing. You've done it. Kick back, have a little swing around the waist, and then let's come down to the mat. Legs out in front of you. Where are we? Brilliant. Okay. So legs out in front of you. Moving on to Pilates now. Make sure you have space to roll back. Let's take a moment and actually start the pose. It's yoga, isn't it? Move the flesh away from your bottom and take a moment to sit up really tall. Shoulders back and down. All of those muscles that support this upright position engaged. Arms parallel to the floor. Now, normally I say legs parallel, but let's squeeze the legs together so we engage the inner thighs. C curve. Start to lower down, one vertebra at a time. Pause, squeeze the legs together, and I'm looking for a little bit of a shake here. So it may be that if this isn't really touching the edges, you might need to listen to my voice. I'm shaking. You might need to lift your heels to intensify that work for your core. Legs are squeezed together, shoulders down, neck relaxed, and then we roll up. That reset, so it's almost an anterior and forward tilt of the pelvis. As you breathe in and the breath out, and now we're switching, the pelvis tilts back. Squeeze the legs together. If you can, now think about pelvic floor, drawing everything in and up, squeeze. Shoulders down. Doesn't matter how far you come down. Maybe you want your knees a little bit bent and we work with just a C curve. So find where it's a challenge, and we're working towards a shake, but definitely no pain. So we're challenging ourselves. Obviously in the 30-minute class, we have to go for more intensity and cut to the chase and get straight to that shake, that positive stress on the body. Pausing here, and then we'll roll up through the spine. Either stay with this or take the roll back and roll up. But we'll keep the legs squeezed together so we have the benefit of the adductors strong. They link to the pelvic floor, the core muscles. We have the whole chain involved to give us that strong roll back. As soon as the head touches the floor, look at your toes and come up again. You can hold the edges of the mat to come up. You can hold the fabric of your clothes to come up, but always a nice reset at the top. Two more like this. Your version, it may be a C curve and up. It may be all the way back. But squeeze the legs together and strong right to the fingertips. You can even see the arm muscles engaged. I really stretch and use all of those muscles. Head briefly touches down. Squeeze the legs together. So much of your strength in rolling up will actually come from those adductors. Nice reset. This is our last one. And then we're going into a reverse curve with an option of the shoulder stand. So let me skip ahead for you. Arms going to be on the floor either side of the body. Now press the backs of the shoulders and the elbows and fists, pinky side, little finger sides, the fists down to the floor. Bend the knees, tilt the pelvis and take the knees into the chest. Now tricep strengthening, backs of the arms, press the arms, the fists, elbows, backs of the shoulders into the floor, and see if we can briefly lift the hips. You want to avoid the shoulders pinging up. They will lift to a certain extent, but see if you can reduce it and use that pressure of the arms, excuse me, into the mat. Backs of the shoulders into the mat, and hopefully you'll feel your triceps warming up. So this action of lifting the hips from the floor. We're using the lower abdominals, and I guess for most of you already you'll start to feel the backs of your shoulders, backs of the arms working strongly. Let's try and keep the chin into the chest. If the chin's up to the ceiling, you'll probably benefit from lifting the head and placing the head on a block or a thick book. Stick with it. Now, option only to go into a shoulder stand. We support the back. In this position, no turning of your head, please. I'm just looking up at my toes. If you want to check them with the screen, you lower down through the hips. Take that strain, vulnerability out of the neck, and then look. So we're either still working on this lift, and don't forget the intention of lifting the hip is what's important. Maybe you need a little bit of momentum until you get that strength. So maybe the feet tap down and then lift. Maybe you'll have straight legs and using the strength in the triceps will come up. So an optional shoulder stand, optional plow. So keep adding on if there's anything here that feels interesting, something you want to try. But as I say, as soon as the hips have lifted, there should be no turning of the head. Maybe the legs are straight to the plow, maybe we have this bent position. So wherever you are, we're working through the spine, one vertebra at a time. And as of the theme of the class, it's the transitions that we're going for to find strength and engagement in the whole body. So the last couple of hip lifts, or the whole way, try the shoulder stand into a plow. Whichever version you're doing, see if you can challenge yourself to have one more round. And then I promise you, we'll take a full body stretch. So as long as there's no pain, a little bit of shaking, definitely fine. Find more and more control over the movements. And when you're ready, you can have the knees into the chest and have a little rock on the spine. Brilliant. We're going to rock up to sitting. The options, either a seated twist with the left foot on the outside of the right foot on the outside of the left knee in order to stretch the triceps, or come all the way over into a cow face pose. So whichever version is fine. So the knees are stacked in cow face. That's too much. Puts flat to the floor. So thigh and chest come together in the seated twist. Lift the left arm. Drop the hand down the back, and we can use the hand on the elbow to just draw the elbow up to the ceiling. Try to use the strength in your inner thighs and legs to draw this knee in towards you if you're in the seated twist. If you're in the cow face pose, maybe you want to go the whole way and bind. So the right arm will take that internally rotated position to take the full bind. So either way, focus. We've done a lot of work on the triceps. So let's stretch, lengthen through the body. Breathe. Now, if you are in the cow face pose, we'll release the arms and fold over the knees. If you're in a seated twist, we're going to wrap the arm around the knee and take a little bit of a twist. So opposite knee and shoulder come together. Each in-breath lengthening up through the spine, each exhalation letting the shoulders drop, and maybe we swivel a little bit further around. So just going over, remind of those principles for a good spinal twist. A stable pelvis, both sit bones into the floor as much as possible. Next, keeping the length in the spine as we twist. So those two principles, at least in mind, with the intention, we'll get a really strong, safe spinal twist. So whether you're in a forward fold cow face pose or in a twisted seated position, we slowly release both legs out in front of you, and then I'll take it to the other side. Left foot on the outside of the right knee. Settle down through the sit bones or release down to the knees. So it just depends on how your hips are today. We'll extend that right arm, drop the hand down the back, and then hold the elbow, draw it up to the ceiling, shoulders down. So same thing here, sit bones towards the floor. Cow face pose, if you're just starting to work towards the cow face pose, it's really nice to sit on a block or a thick dictionary. Just that slight elevation of the hips can help. Otherwise, we're in a seated twist. We have to work more strongly through the leg to stop the knee dropping out. Breathing deeply. So here, we can either hook the elbow around the knee and deepen our spinal twist, or in cow face pose, we can take a bind and maybe we'll add on a forward fold. So in cow face pose, either trying with the bind or relaxing into your forward fold, because it's more about the hips now. We've stretched out the triceps. Whichever version you're on, breathe into it and try and find some softening. And if the softening doesn't quite come, then maybe you come back to this particular stretch later on in the day where you can give it a bit more time and nurture. So wherever you are, roll up through the spine, slowly unpretzel yourself, shake out, I like that roll from one bottom cheek to the other, massage out all the soft tissue, let the feet sway side to side, shrug out the shoulders, and you're good to go. Well done.